Most people believe that there is some secret, high level tip, trick, and tactic to make money on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to read to you a comment that I got on a video that I uploaded, kind of outlining the same thing. But what I'm going to do, what I'm going to share with you today, is I am going to share with you how I would, if I had to start over, if I had to start completely from scratch, how I would make my first $1,000 on YouTube. It doesn't require a following. It doesn't require running paid ads. It doesn't even really require having a presence on social media or anywhere to get up and running. I want to read this comment to you so that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about. But first, let me share a story with you about how I learned how to do this. And I kind of did this on accident. And I've been able to repeat this accident across multiple accounts. So, and I've done this with various products and services so that I know that it works. Back when I first got started, again, you can go look at the early videos on my channel and you'll see I was struggling. I was getting 20 views, 26 views. I wasn't growing at all. And the content, quite frankly, wasn't very good. It was trying to be like other people. At first, when I first started creating content on this channel, it was about Amazon Web Services. And then I watched a bunch of videos about people talking about how to make money online. And they told me to go over to ClickBank. And I started creating content about ClickBank products. I think there's like a baby potty video early on, which didn't get any views. And so what I actually went back and did is I was buying courses and I was buying different things that I was interested in. For example, I bought a security camera. I mentioned I've also bought a course called Project 24. The security camera was called the Ring Video Doorbell. And what I noticed is when I created content that was specific to the product, so creating content about the Ring Video Doorbell, I think one of my earlier videos that went viral for me, which had 200 views, was like Ring Video Doorbell versus the Arlo Pro. What's the difference? It really took off when I started creating videos about Project 24. And I don't want you to focus on, okay, he created content on selling a course to earn affiliate commissions. Think about what was most important. People understood what their problem was. They understood what the solution was, and they just wanted to make sure that the product that they were buying was the right thing for them. And so once I realized this, and I was able to replicate this across multiple YouTube channels, I realized that when I talked specifically about a product or service, I could catch people at what's called the bottom, closest to the money. Think about it that way. And when people are closest to the money, they're ready to buy. They've got their credit card in hand. They just want to make sure that they're making the best decision for them and their family. So that is how I learned it step by step. What we're going to do next, I'm going to answer this question real quick because I think it's a good question. It's important. And then I'm going to go over the simple 5-step process that you could implement today to make your first $1,000 on YouTube. So the original question was, generally, all these strategies they teach on YouTube seem very basic and short-term at best. A long-term seems you must buy some course to take you to next level. Yet I still dream of replacing my crappy disability income. And I said this to him in text, but I want to make sure I highlight this in video as well. In the very beginning, you don't need anything complicated. In fact, everything about my business is simple. The more complicated it gets, the harder it is to find success. You want simple. It's not going to be easy, but you want something that's going to be as simple as possible. Think about anything in life. The more complex it is, the harder it becomes, the more difficult it becomes to do it correctly and do it successfully over a long period of time. But obviously, I don't know all of the videos that he's watched, but everything works on YouTube for the most part. And you should only buy a course if you have tried to find a solution to your problem for 3 or 6 months and you can't overcome that solution. So for example, let's say I wanted to learn Facebook ads and I was doing Facebook ads. I was implementing Facebook ads and it just wasn't working. I wasn't converting. I wasn't getting the return on investment that I was thinking. When you run into that hurdle and you can't get over it, go look for a course about Facebook ads. Make sure the course only focuses on how to increase conversions with Facebook ads. Take that course and then implement what you learn. In the very beginning, you don't need anything complicated. You need something simple, straightforward, and gives you a step-by-step framework or path from 0 to 1. So stop thinking, if you think that the YouTubers are hiding stuff from you, they're not. They're just further along in the process, and they were exactly where you are right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this 5-step process that I would implement today if I want to make my first $1,000 on YouTube. So the first thing that I would do is I would pick a product that I recently purchased. The only caveat is I want to make sure that that product is over $25. For example, I recently purchased this Apple Pen so that I can write on my iPad. It's really as simple as that. Just find a product. Any product will do to start. Find a product, make sure it's over $25. If the product is new, even better, but it doesn't have to be new. Once you find a product, go to YouTube and look and see if people are asking questions about it. So you're going to go to the search bar on YouTube and you're going to type in the product name. What you can do is once you type in the product name, for example, like Apple Pen, I'm going to go to the front of my term. It's called a keyword search term. And I'm going to type in how to. I'm going to type in how to _ Apple Pen and look and see what pops up. Now you should get a bunch of questions like how to connect the Apple Pen to an iPad, how to connect an Apple Pen to a Samsung if you can. You're going to get a bunch of those questions. If you don't get questions, if you don't get at least 10 questions, move on to a different product, because that means that people aren't actually searching for a solution. To be successful on the internet, to be successful in general, you want to identify questions that people are asking, and then you're going to create content to solve those. But what you want to do is go over to Google, go over to YouTube, really important, and make sure that people are asking questions. And if they are, you're going to make a list of 20 questions. Now, before we move on, there are a few different search terms that I would like to think about. First is product focus. So stuff about Apple Pen. Apple Pen. I don't know why I'm writing it down, but write this down. Apple Pen. The next one is going to be versus. So Apple Pen versus something else. So Apple Pen versus Samsung stylus or whatever else is out there. When you're doing your keyword research, you want to look for who, what, when, where, why, and how. So how to _ Apple Pen. And then in front of that underscore, go through each letter of the alphabet. How to A, and then B, C, D, one at a time until you have a list. Then next, you're going to do Apple Pen versus. So just to give you a real life idea, I'm going to go to YouTube right now and I'm going to type in Apple Pen versus, and a few things popped up. Apple Pen versus knockoff, Apple Pen versus Apple Pen Pro, Apple Pen versus stylus, Apple Pen Video Original, Apple Pen versus Samsung Pen. So people are actually asking about this Apple Pen. Now that you have a product, you've got a list of at least 20 questions. Now you're going to apply to become an affiliate for the product. And what I want you to do is I want you to apply to become an affiliate at 5 different places. So for me, I bought this over on Amazon. I'm going to apply at Amazon. I'm going to apply at Best Buy, Target, Walmart. I'm just going to apply. Now, when you apply, you want to make sure that you are answering the questions thoroughly and truthfully, and you want to answer the questions in a way that you are telling them your business plan. You want to communicate to them because they don't know who you are. They don't know that you're a great person. You want to let them know that you plan on creating content on YouTube and the type of content that you're creating and how often you're going to create the content. You can use, obviously, AI to help you out with that. But it's really important that you apply to 5. 3 of them might reject you. 4 of them might reject you. Even if you get rejected, still make the videos. And it's really important to make the videos because you got to make the content anyway. And let's say Best Buy rejects you. You can always wait 90 days and reapply. And this time when you reapply, you can give them stats and data. You can say, I've generated in the last 90 days, I've generated 10,000 views, and that will increase the chances of someone buying. Okay? So apply to 5 different places, B&H Photo. I mean, you can even use AI to ask AI for recommendations for the affiliate program, but don't let rejection stop you. If you want to make money online, you are going to face rejection a lot. And the people that are able to overcome and fight through that rejection are the ones that are successful. The ones that see rejection, temporary rejection, and throw their hands up and say, I can't do it, those are the ones that quit and ultimately get frustrated and say that making money online is a scam. Anyway, step number 5, you are simply going to make videos answering these questions. And the benefit of doing it this way, as I mentioned earlier, is you are catching people closest to the money or at the bottom of the funnel. If you just make videos talking about general content like how to make money online, that is really competitive, where you're going to be trying to create content with hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of videos. However, if you create content talking about Project 24 or a course, it is narrow. So let me just give you a quick example here. So if we're looking at this, something like how to make money online is at the top of the funnel. How to. And what usually happens is people have more pointed questions. They have more questions. Some of them might buy right away, or they leave. They might think it's too hard. But what most people do is they're going to keep asking questions until they find a product that solves their problem, a solution. And if we can create content at the bottom of that funnel, or at the bottom where the money is, we are getting in front of people that know the problem, they know the solution, and they know the product. It's called awareness. It's a marketing term. But the benefit of this is that we can skip the guesswork. Now you might be wondering, Alston, how long is this going to take? I don't know. I don't know how consistent you are. I don't know how persistent you are. I don't know how good you would be at creating content, or if you're committed to getting better. Your first content isn't going to be very good. But the people that are successful will look at their content and are determined to improve it. A lot of people out there, from my experience, will say, well, my content is as good as this guy over here, and they aren't committed to getting better. And when you're not committed to getting better, you're staying the same or getting worse, and you are not going to attract the people that you want. But that is the process, step by step. I would go ahead and implement this today. This is the process that I followed with home security cameras. I followed this process with Project 24, with web hosting. This process will work for you if you implement and you are if you are committed to implementing it. Now, you might be wondering, hey, does this actually work? Go right now after this video, go type in a product that you've recently purchased. Go type in Rode Wireless Go 2. You're going to see a bunch of people that create content about those videos. They're getting tens of thousands of views. They're putting their affiliate link in, and they're earning commissions. What I'm telling you to do is you want to make content like unboxing, first impression, review, comparison, best features, worst features. Create that type of content, and you will start not only building a following, but you'll start making money. And that is what's most important. I don't know if I said this a little bit earlier, but this is really important. Only buy a course. I think I did say this. Only buy a course if you are trying to save time, save money, if you're trying to accelerate the learning curve. But you're right. Everything can be found or discovered here on YouTube. It just takes a little bit longer. And you might have to watch a bunch of videos that you don't want to watch. But most importantly, make sure that you are only buying a course when you know the problem. Too many people will buy a course, but when they don't actually know the problem, they've fallen for the marketing of the course. And so that kind of stops them in their tracks, and then they think courses are a scam. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd be happy to hear from you. This is a relatively short video. Comment 15-minute club down below to let everybody know that you are part of the club. You are part of the cool kids. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.